Hello fellow makeup lovers, how are you guys doing today? We are going to be playing with a bunch of new makeup and just having a very chill, chatty little time. Oh, that was my cat, she just scared me. I've got my drink here, it is Friday night, and I just wanna play with makeup. We've got the new About Face foundation, which sounds amazing. New releases from Natasha Denona, including the new Berry Pop Cheek palette, which looks super, super pretty. I've got some goodies here from Sarat and Pixie, and I figured we could just see what happens. I'm gonna zoom you guys in. My skin is feeling a little sad. I'm like breaking out right now. Like I feel like my skin is still recovering from the holidays, but I did go in with the Sarat face like spray primer. It's a facial mist. It says to either use it as a toner in your skincare routine or to use it right before makeup applications. I used a little bit like 5 to 10 minutes ago and just let it soak, and it's in my skin. My skin actually feels like really plump and like slightly like tacky to the touch with that on, so kind of curious to see how the foundation applies on top. So like I said, we've got the new About Face Performer foundation. It's a pretty like mid-range price. It's $22, but the claims sound really good. It says coverage meets skincare in this skin optimizing foundation formulated with the powerful ingredients like blue agave, wintergreen, and chlorella, known to help hydrate, balance, smooth skin. Buildable, breathable, medium coverage, delivers a long wear second skin finish, vegan and cleanly formulated. I grabbed the shade F1 Neutral, which there was one shade lighter than this, but I'm pretty sure it was a cool toned shade. So I was like, let me go for the neutral, but the swatches look pretty good, so I figured it would be okay. Sometimes it does not matter what the undertone is. If I don't get the lightest shade, no shade is gonna work for me. Oh, okay, so this is one of those foundations that has a giant doe foot wand. I would definitely prefer a pump, but what can you do? And let's just like do a little swatch of the shade. I think it should be okay. It feels moisturizing, feels kind of creamy. Actually, you know what? That blended in pretty well. That might be my perfect shade. Start off on half my face, kind of see. It's so hard to tell because I feel like for most foundations I go in with a pump, but like you cannot tell how much a pump is with that. I'm just gonna go in with my Cinch Beauty F01 and start kind of stippling that into the skin. That's actually kind of a perfect match for me. I feel like it looks a little light because I've got like a lot of redness going on. But look at that. That looks nice. I feel like it had pretty good coverage right away, but it still looks skin-like. It does not look heavy at all. I think that looks really pretty. If we're feeling a little wild, we can definitely try and build the foundation up a little bit and see, you know, what we get out of it. But just from that little bit, I really, really like it. So let's go ahead and do the other side. Maybe I'll just try and use a little bit more product, especially because this side I've got a little bit more redness and everything going on. That looks like more, right? Just again, going in, just gonna stipple that into the skin. I mean, you can see it is covering the redness really well, but it's kind of strange because it still looks like skin. Like it does not, like it has really good coverage, but it doesn't look full coverage in a bad way. It looks really natural. They might have did something with this foundation. This is actually kind of the perfect foundation for me because I have been all about the skin tints recently. I haven't been wearing a ton of traditional foundations, but look how good that looks. Redness gone completely, but it does not look heavy at all. Genuinely impressed. I mean, obviously I need to see how it lasts throughout the day. It has a very natural finish. It's not quite matte, not glowy. It just looks like, I don't know, it looks like skin. In a way that like I can't believe it because I feel like so many companies are like, it looks like skin, and I'm like, yeah, like I see it, but like, I mean, it still kind of, you know, looks like makeup, but like for real, it looks like skin. Okay, so I don't want to go in with too many like new complexion products so that we can like actually see how the foundation does. So I'm going to go in with some tried and true concealers. I have the Natasha Denona High Glam Concealer here as well as a corrector because I tried this out in a first impression and I don't know if I've told you guys like an update of how I feel about this. So I'm just gonna go ahead and throw a little bit of that right on the corner, the inner corner of my under eye where my eye bags are. This is the shade C1, and I want to love this. I really, really want to love it. I don't even know where brush is to blend that out with. But I do feel like the color correction is just a little bit orangey for me. I love the color of the Becca, or like technically the Becca and Smashbox corrector, which has a little bit more like a pinky peachness to it. It just works better for my skin tone. So I feel like this does kind of correct, and it's okay. I really like the formula because it is very creamy. I feel like it sets in place, but I just wish the shade was slightly different. So I feel like I do reach for it. I don't mind it, but I definitely would not repurchase it, and I prefer the Becca 100%. I'm gonna go in with the shade Y1, the concealer now, and just kind of throw a little bit of that on my inner corner, a little kind of here, a little everywhere, honestly. And I'm just using my Cinch Beauty F02 to blend that in. Looks so good, so pretty underneath the eyes. Just a really flattering formula. Also, by the way, just in case you're new here, I do have pretty dry skin, especially right now during the winter. My skin is just like a little Sahara desert over here. I live in not like the coldest climate ever. I used to live in Pennsylvania and winters were much harsher on my skin. Now I'm in North Carolina. Not as bad, but I still feel the difference. That concealer and foundation combo is so pretty. You can kind of see the difference where like I used a little more product on this side as far as the foundation goes than this side. This side I feel like you can see like the redness in my skin just a tiny bit more. But honestly, it looks so good. So for brows, I am going to start off with my tried and true brow palette. This is the Mad For You Brows in the shade Blonde from Sydney Grace. And right now, I've just been really enjoying going in with a little bit of the shade Ash. And see, my palette is very, very messy. But typically, I just go in with that a little bit on the tail of my brow. Kind of brush it through. And then whatever's left over on the brush, I'll kind of just throw in the front. Just super simple. That is my go-to, but I did get a PR package from Pixi with some of their like best-selling products, and I figured we could try them out. So they included their brow tamer in the clear brow gel shade. So this is the shade Translucent, and I figured we could just see how it looks through the brows. I don't use a clear brow gel every day. Not by a long shot, but oh, that looks nice, like nice and fluffy. Just see if it really sets them in place. I'm so lazy when it comes to my brows. Like every other part of my makeup routine I've got time for, but my brows I never do. Okay, I'm just gonna let that kind of dry down. We can see how that feels in a minute. I'm gonna go into the Juvia's Place eye primer in the shade 1. Just gonna use a little tiny bit of that to prime my eyes. I really need to buy a backup of the Cinch Beauty F02 so that I can use one for eye primer and one for concealer. But as of right now, I just use it for both, and I'm just, you know, hoping it doesn't mess my concealer up. Just gonna blend that in real quick. Okay, so for eyeshadow, I have the new My Mini Dream palette from Natasha Denona. It looks super cute, just like very basic, but I'm into it. So there's no names or anything. We can just swatch this out real quick. We've got like a soft kind of taupey shimmer. That's so pretty. A really light neutral matte. We've got another shimmer, but this one looks a little bit lighter, a little bit more highlighty. Okay, I'm not mad at it so far. Then we also have a nice like neutral brown matte that looks super, super pretty. And then a mid-tone, kind of neutral brown. I don't know, this is so basic, but there's just something about it that called to me. So let's try it out. I don't know what just happened. I literally just put the palette down and the shimmer is super messed up. And like, I'm like looking at all my nails and I don't see anywhere that I dug my finger in. I don't know what I did. So I'm gonna go ahead and start off with the lightest matte shade, and I'm just going to throw that through my entire crease. Just using an old brush from Alamar. I love how these are very neutral browns. Like they're not pulling super warm, they're not pulling super cool. I feel like it's kind of the perfect little travel palette. Because for a long time, I was bringing the little mini Lila palette everywhere with me and just using the two like neutral shades at the end. But I feel like this would honestly be more up my alley. Now let's go into the mid-tone brown. Basically just gonna stamp that on the outer half of my crease. I kind of want to do this messy and quick because I feel like that's kind of the point of this palette, is that it's supposed to be easy, travel friendly, like no fuss kind of vibes. And then I'm gonna take a slightly smaller brush and go into the deepest brown. Just again, kind of tapping that on the outer portion. Slightly buffing it in and keeping it moving. I'm actually gonna go in with that on a slightly bigger brush. Like I need to amp it up a little bit. Just do a little mixture of these two browns for the lower lash line. For the inner portion of my eye, I'm gonna go into the lightest shade. Kind of gonna throw that right here and then up. I don't know that I would layer that on too thick because it does have a slightly darker background to it, like when you're not hitting the light, and I still want it to look like a highlight on me. I mean, that looks really pretty, kind of brought up through the crease. Okay. And then going into the very first shade we swatched, that like more taupey satin, I'm just gonna pop that on the lid. And like I said from the very beginning, it's basic, but it's nice. I'm actually kind of tempted to go into a little bit of the Angles of Illumination palette from Bella Beauty Bar. I got this and I have not filmed a video on it yet. I haven't swatched it or anything, but I kind of just want to like amp this look up a little bit. And I thought maybe this shade right here called Sunlight would be really beautiful, just kind of topped over everything. Maybe let's just do that. Oh my goodness. Oh, that is so pretty. Okay. Just as like, you know, a little something something. It's got like this brown background, but then a little bit of a bluey green reflect. Look how stunning. Okay. I'm already getting carried away. This is a full shimmer palette, so I was kind of debating on, instead of like filming like my normal like first impressions and like doing a look with it, because I'd have to pull into other things and I could only really do a little bit on my eyes with this. Like I can't show you the palette in its full effect. I thought maybe it'd be fun to do like an overhead video and we could just like sit down and like swatch every single shade and like look at all the shifts and like really get a good look at everything in the palette, you know, for an all shimmer palette. I was debating on doing that. So let me know if you'd want to see that. But I mean, that shade Sunlight, it may be curing my seasonal depression. I love the mattes from Natasha Denona. The shimmers are basic, but they're really pretty, especially with the color story. But then adding just like an indie shadow on top, chef's kiss. So I also have some new eyeliner to try. I have a few different things here from Sarat. So they sent over two like actual like regular eyeliners, and then they also sent over a white shade, which says it's like inner light. I thought maybe this would look cute on like an inner corner or something, but I kind of forgot to use it. So here's what that looks like. Oh, it's very bright and very creamy. I probably wouldn't use that in my waterline. I'm just not about that life. I feel like the white, like, I don't know, it looks kind of strange, but sometimes just adding a little something like that on the inner corner before you go in with your inner corner shade can just make it pop that much more. So I definitely need to play with that. But they sent over two regular eyeliners. So we've got one here, which is called Fume Brune, which earlier I was looking at this and I was like guessing, like, does that mean like smoky brown or something in French? I don't know. It's been years. I took like 1 year of French, so I don't know what I'm talking about. Let's see. No, it is black, right? It looks like a black. It looks very, very creamy though. I love a good pencil liner like this. And then let's see the other shade, Etincé? I don't know. Probably messing that up, but let's see. Oh, that is the most beautiful creamy brown. I love a good brown liner. You know what? Sold. Just gonna go ahead and wiggle that through my waterline, or technically my tight line. And then we can throw that along the waterline as well. Oh, I feel like swatching it out, it looked so pigmented, but then actually putting it through my waterline, I felt like I was like really having to go back and forth. And for the Sarat price, I don't feel like that is worth it. I also have a mascara here from Pixie Beauty. This is the Lash Booster Mascara in the shade Blackest Black. And my little sister, little influencer, not really, but she is a 13-year-old and she was telling me that she really likes this mascara and I trust her. Even though she made me buy the Maybelline Fit Me concealer and I was like, I don't know that I love this that much. So I did receive this in that PR package from Pixie and I was like, you know what, let's go ahead. Let's try it out, see what it does for my lashes. I have been all about a, what's it called? Not bonding mascara. Oh my lord. A tubing mascara. I've been all about tubing mascaras recently. This wand is pretty small for a full-size mascara. Like, I feel like I'm super close to my eye, which is kind of nice. I feel like I've got more control. I don't know that I'm impressed. I can't really say that it's giving me a ton of length. Don't really feel like it's giving me a ton of volume. Like, it's kind of just like sticking to my lashes. Now I'm kind of wishing I just gave it to her instead of trying it myself, because I don't love it. I do not. I just feel like it's not doing anything for me. Like, maybe if you have nice, luscious, natural lashes, this is pretty, but for me, I kind of hate it. I'm kind of slightly disappointed in that. I'm like, you know what? Let's just swatch something else from the Bella Beauté Art palette right now because this made me happy. There's the shade Sunlight. We've got a shade right here called Dazzle, which looks like the most beautiful, like bluey periwinkle. Ooh, and then let's do Moonlight. Oh my gosh. Oh, so shiny. Like, look at that. I just need to go back to my happy place and not think about that mascara. So pretty. Okay, I'm good now. Next, the Berry Pop Cheek Palette from Natasha Denona herself. We've got two different blushes here. So there is a cream blush and then there is a tinted glow cream base. Not exactly sure what that means. And then we also have a Dream Glow highlighter. This looks more golden in person. Like, when I saw the pictures of this online, I was like, there is no way that that is not going to work for me. Like, that looks like a highlighter I can use. And now seeing it in person, I'm like, I don't know that that's going to work for me. So let's just swatch it out. Okay, I already dug my finger into it, but I forgot to show you like a little close up. So please forgive me, but here's what she looks like nice and up close. So like I said, we've got the cream blush here, which y'all, it feels like a powder. Like, it has like this satininess to it, but it feels so silky. It feels weird. Like, I don't even know how to describe it. I don't have anything else quite like that. Oh, it's so pretty. Okay, I really swatched a lot. So I feel like maybe if we were like a little bit lighter, like it would look more like that. A little bit softer. I mean, still very pigmented. It's like such a pretty pinky berry shade. And then we've got the Cream Glow base, which that feels much more creamy and it's such a pretty like glowy shade. Oh my goodness. Okay. So there's what that looks like. I mean, it's like a similar vibe. It's just like a little more like a peachy berry, if that makes sense, but it looks really, really pretty. Like, I'm already like, forget that blush. I want to wear this one. And then for the Dream Glow highlighter, please let this work for me. I'm gonna be so sad. Okay, so there's what it looks like. That looks promising. That looks stunning. Oh my gosh. Oh wait, it's like the most beautiful like nude shade. Like, it looks like there's a glow, but it doesn't even look like there's product. I'm overwhelmed. There's too many things I want to try out of this palette, even though it's only 3 shades. Okay, so I'm gonna go in with more of a powder friendly brush and just try a little bit of this shade. Like, I mean, it's picking it up. It's so pigmented. I like barely even touched it. I cannot say that I fully understand what is happening with that blush, but it blended out really beautifully. I feel like if you're not about the cream blush life, then this still might not be for you because there is this shade as well. But that performed like a powder, but it was very, very blendable. And I feel like it looks very pink on me. Like, it does not look like a berry color per se on my cheeks, but I really, really like it. So let's go ahead and try out this one. Just for the sake of trying everything, I'm going to grab the F03 from Cinch Beauty because I really like this for cream blushes. Just try and pick up a little bit, and let's see what that looks like. I mean, it looks pretty similar. It's like slightly softer, maybe a little bit more glowy. The tone is very similar, but I think technically these are meant to be like layered. But I feel like they're very pigmented. Like, I would just use it on its own. I mean, that's pretty. Kind of wish that there was like a little bit more variation between the two shades. I don't know. But I like the glow. I do. So let's go ahead and try the highlighter out over both sides and see what it looks like. Let's see. I'm probably just going to use my Cinch Beauty F06 because I really like more of like a soft kind of like fluffy little brush for highlighter to make it look really glowy and not too like packed in one spot. So I feel like this will be perfect for this shade. So I'm just going to pick up a little bit of that. So I feel like it's kind of like adding like a glow, but it's subtle. It's subtle for sure, at least on me. Like, it might be really bright depending on what your skin tone is. Okay, but this is also a very like light, soft brush. So maybe let's try something more dense. I grabbed the Cinch Beauty F07, which is a little bit more dense. You can see right away it's picking up more of the product. Oh, but that looks really pretty, right? I mean, it's definitely kind of golden, but it looks beautiful because I love the Natasha Denona Super Glow highlighter. That's literally one of my all-time favorite highlights ever. And I feel like this is kind of giving a similar vibe. Like, look how pretty that looks. Okay, I'm gonna go in with that on the other side as well. Over top the cream blush. I feel like it's been a while since I treated myself to a face palette from Natasha Denona, and this one just caught my attention. The packaging is stunning, and I can use all the shades, so not mad at it. I think I may have went a little too heavy on highlighter on this side, but that's fine. Okay, lastly, I have two different lip lacquers here from Sarat. I figured we could try as well. We've got the shade Eglaton, and this looks like a really pretty, ooh, it's one of those like clicky lipsticks. It's like a pretty kind of like pinky mauve-y shade. Okay, and then we've got Heaven, ooh, which is like a nude, like glossy moment. Both of those look really pretty, but I think I'm gonna go for Heaven. My lips are dry right now, so try not to judge them too much. Ooh, that is such a glossy, comfortable formula. Not to be dramatic, but I think that might be the most perfect lipstick color I've ever put on. I feel like that is my perfect nude. Like, it has like a little stickiness to it in like a tacky way, like it's gonna stay a while. It's not just gonna wipe away like a gloss. I don't mind it. It's not too much to where it's uncomfortable, and the shade kind of has me in a chokehold. Alrighty, y'all, so this is the finished look complete, and overall I feel like this has been a pretty successful trying new makeup video. So just to kind of give you my summed up thoughts on everything I tried today, the About Face foundation looks really, really nice on the skin. I feel like this could become a go-to foundation for me when I'm wanting something a little bit more than a skin tint. I also feel like the color is really, really nice. Like, it matches me pretty dang well, which is always a good feeling when you're ordering a foundation online. So I am happy with that. Happy with like the way the packaging looks, but I don't necessarily love that it is not a pump. Don't love that. The My Dream Mini palette from Natasha Denona is so nice. I love the tones that are in here. This is more perfect for me than the nude palette, but it kind of got me thinking if you guys would like to see like a collection video of all my Natasha Denona minis, because I have a lot of her like smaller these palettes and then also quads, or no, quints technically. But yeah, I'm happy with that. I'm happy I picked it up in my order. The Bella Beauté bar palette, I know we only played with like the tiniest amount. Let me know if you want to see a full video on this. But what I did play with today, like, it just took this look to another level. And it did exactly what I would expect from Bella Beauté bar shimmers. I love shimmers. Like, I feel like this palette, you know, there are some similar shades, but everything in here looks so, so good. The Berry Cheek palette, I feel like both sides of my cheeks look really beautiful, and the highlighter is like the perfect like nude shade where it looks like glowy. I don't know. I need to experiment with it more, but I'm excited about it. It just has something to it. Both of the blushes are cool. This one is the weirdest formula, like in a good way. Like I don't really know what's happening there, but it works. It works. So not mad at that. The mascara, I don't even know where it is, but that does, oh, here it is. Honestly, I hate it. Like, I just feel like it did literally nothing for my lashes. The brow tamer, it also did not hold my brows down. Like, they're fully movable. They're not in place, like, for the amount of product I use. Compared to the Anastasia brow gel, nothing. Sarat, the eyeliners, I don't feel like are worth it, but this shade Heaven is such a good nude. I feel like I'm going to be reaching for it all the time. It might actually be, out of this entire video, the product that I end up using the most going forward, because I feel really cute in it. So I hope that you guys enjoyed this first impression, all the new makeup. Let me know what you thought. If you are going to be trying any of these products, I'd love to have a conversation with you down below, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.